Hello and welcome to another episode of Film Freaks with a Z, the podcast all about movies. Each episode is dedicated to a single movie, and of course, we'll get to the movie in a little bit, but first, I gotta invite you, yes, you, the listener, to join us in the fan votes. That's right, we want your movie recommendations to put them in the fan vote, that is. During Tay's episode, the vote will run and whoever wins, we talk about, just like Fellow and Killer Clowns from Outer Space from last time's episode. So, if you want to put in a movie recommendation, just comment on the latest episode of Film Freaks with a Z, or give us an email at ff.filmfreakswithaz@gmail.com, or you could talk in the movie stuff section of the Ferret Nation Discord to recommend a movie there. All right, let's introduce ourselves before we introduce the movie. I am Yemmy the Ferret, and I'm here with...
Greedy Waffle.
Damation.
The Sound of Callus.
Season 11 now?
New season.
I'm making us have new seasons.
Wait, did we just skip 2 seasons?
I'm
You
trying
have a
to, I'm
different
trying to
name
make
every
up. Yeah, I'm
time.
trying
How
to
many
make up
episodes-
for it.
I was like, how many episodes have you been in? That's how many seasons we are.
But yes, welcome. We have a full party today.
Didn't we last time?
Yes, just confirming that, just making sure that no one's computer crashed this time.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
All right, my phone got its last message in there. All right. So how are you guys doing? How's your week been?
It's been good.
Been okay. Allergies are really bad. Not a little, really bad. They're just really bad right now.
Yeah, not bad. Just a whole lot of Elden Ring. Or not enough, actually.
All right, let's do a rundown. How many hours are we all in Elden Ring? Greedy, you start.
0.
Also 0.
And that's the joke, everyone. Please clap. Let's talk about something that's not Souls-like, and that is a movie. And it was my recommendation, so let me introduce it. My recommendation was Sound of Metal from 2019, which was directed by Darius Marder. And the synopsis is: a drummer begins to lose his hearing and has to come to grips with a future filled with silence. I guess the movie actually was released in theaters in 2020, so I think I'm going to put 2020 as the official date, because it didn't come to like Amazon Prime or theaters until 2020. It was released at like the Toronto Film Festival in 2019, so that's why it's labeled as 2019. But besides the point, it stars Reese Ahmed, Olivia Cook, Paul Raci, Lauren Ridloff, and plenty more, of course. And I wasn't really sure where to start this, but I guess a comparison is in order, because there's other drummer and drumming movies out there, and I think this one presents itself in a very different way than I was expecting. And I want to know, like, you guys going into it, like, I was kind of expecting a little bit of a different experience, but it was much more pooled. I don't know, much more deep, I guess you could say. It was definitely more somber than what I was expecting. What about you guys?
Definitely
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, I do agree with that, and I do like throughout the movie, like you can tell like less and less, like in my opinion, that it became less about the drumming and more focused on the healing and like how it's affecting him. And I feel like other movies would have prescribed it and oh, he's a metal drummer, he's got a drum, that kind of, that dirt road down there.
Agree.
Yeah, I feel like the movie, like starting out, I had no idea what to expect. But, once we got into it and, once he got into that home with all the other, people that are going through, problems, I kind of knew what to expect going from there.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I went to it. I don't know what I was like, really expecting when I went to it. I guess I was expecting more of like one of those like rockumentary type experiences. And I mean, it's not like I'm not saying I'm disappointed, because I think the end product is really good, and I think they presented this story really, really well. So I guess one of the first things to talk about is like just how interesting It is when they do like the hearing loss sections of the film. Obviously, they can't do it the entire time. But like those moments where it's kind of like everything's kind of like it's like a blown out speaker or something like that. Very
Yeah, they did.
powerful, especially early on.
Yeah, they did a great job with the sound effects, especially when he gets his hearing aids and how his hearing aids weren't working, and like how they were able to like implement that sound into what we want, what the movie wanted him, like the audience, to hear what he was going through. It was really cool.
I don't know if it was like they weren't working or like that's just
That's
kind of
just-
how it is.
That's just that's how they
Yeah.
are.
I thought it was just because it was so new and it was just
Nope.
that day and age.
That's
I mean,
just-
yeah, that's how it is
Work.
because his ears are still technically not working, so they just like the implant is just like a workaround to trick the brain into thinking he's hearing. So yeah, it's definitely not gonna sound anything like what it should sound like if if you were using your real ears. So that
Yeah.
probably is what it sounds like.
But the point is, I mean, they did a great job of
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah,
perspective.
Well, yeah, and it's also like I guess I would say it's not widely known that those types of hearing aids that they kind of like drill into your head and do whatever with you. I mean, because I was under the assumption that like, oh, you got you got hearing again. Why wouldn't everyone do this, right? But in actuality, it's much different than what I guess we would expect.
Yes.
And I did like that.
And what the main
quick-
character expected too, obviously.
I did like that quick glimpse of them doing that surgery, or a surgery.
Yeah. No, that's accurate. So, I did take a
Move close,
ASL.
Tay.
Sorry, I did take an ASL class in college to learn sign language stuff, and they went into a lot of the stuff about with the deaf community, and so a lot of what they showed there was accurate.
That's good. Yeah, I'm glad that it was all accurate. I mean, when I went to school, they didn't even offer like a sign language course or anything like that. And now,
Oh, yeah.
as I understand, at least in my school's, old school's district, they do offer those classes now, which I think is a really good idea because sign language is like, you can be deaf, you can be mute, you can be whatever, you can use that. It's kind of like a universal language in a way.
Yeah.
yeah, except it's only in the Americas.
Yeah. Well, ASL is America. Europe
Right.
has their own sign language.
ESL, yeah.
Yeah, ESL exactly.
Is it just me, or does this whole movie seem like it's a sort of like an advertisement as to why it's a bad idea to get those implants?
Definitely, and I mean the deaf community does kind of frown upon them as well. They're just, they see themselves as like, and they said in the movie, they're not broken.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing to be fixed.
It's a good point, Gals, because as we can see, he takes them out and he's just like, you know what? I
Yeah.
think this is better.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Well, the only thing is, like, before he got that surgery done, he could still hear like, I remember, like, he could still hear a little bit, right? He could still kind of, it was all muffled, but
Well,
when he got the
I mean,
surgery
it
done, they
was-
had to like completely rupture that stuff.
Yeah, but also, I mean, it was also, what was the word? I mean, it was pretty much gone because he didn't heed that doctor's warning about don't be near loud noises.
And
Right.
that goes to the concert again.
Yeah, I
And
immediately
then-
went to the concert and
I
Yeah,
guess
I
I guess it's just
assume-
a weird. It's a thing because at the end of the movie, obviously it's, obviously we're jumping ahead way far, but instead of it being like a muffled sound like you were expecting from the other times that they showed his deafness,
yeah,
it's just complete silence. And I think that's the perfect way to end the movie, is just that dead silence, and then a song slowly comes in.
agreed.
You don't want some screamo song after that silence?
No, no, I thought that was a really great way to end it. It makes a statement for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because most
I
movies,
do like the
most
ending,
movies
yeah.
are going to be like, hey, and here's the, acoustic guitar version of Sweet Carolina, and or something like that.
Well, they did eventually. They put some music, after a few seconds after the credits started.
Yeah, I said that, Callus.
Oh, sorry.
God, pay attention. Just joking.
Let's go back. Let's reverse the wheels here.
Rewind.
Well, you
So
guys. Good, good.
for
Good movie.
I guess we should start. Obviously, I think everyone here stated that they were in some sort of band at one point, right?
Yes.
Or
Does
Tell us.
Rock
projects.
Band and Guitar Hero count?
Nah.
Yes, it does.
How about playing music really loudly?
Also count.
Well, even like going to a concert, because
going to concerts. There you go.
well, I was gonna say back when I was a kid, Greedy and I had a bit of a garage band going on in my basement. And I remember after long times of us just jamming, obviously you would hear that ringing in your ears, but it was nothing like the, crazy, like stuff that happened to the main character here. But that, when that stuff started to happen, like I would get extended ringing in my ears from just going to concerts and playing in the band and stuff. That's when I started to get really like concerned, like, oh, maybe I should start wearing earplugs and stuff like that. And as soon as I did that, the problem pretty much went away. I mean, I still had a little bit of ringing every so often from the earplugs not being in correctly, but I think in the long run, I did save my hearing personally from doing that stuff. I remember when I played in my original metal band, I was the drummer for that, and we had a concert at a place in downtown Cleveland, and they put the bass's speaker right next to my head, and I remember not being able to hear for at least a couple days after that, and that was when I was like 16. So, even like, man, just to think about how, I mean, years of playing and years of going to the concerts, like you think of all these old bands that, they're like, what? Because it's like, that's how it kind of is. You kind of, you're next to all the loudness and
Yeah.
I don't
Isn't
know.
Dave
maybe
Grohl
I'm
going
over
through?
to it.
Isn't Dave Grohl like going through something like currently right now? Something similar like that? He's losing his hearing. I think I remember hearing something about that.
Yeah, it's possible.
But that also reminded me of a similar situation where I used to ride to school, and like a friend used to give me rides, and he drives like a very tiny Honda Civic, but he put like two gigantic 12-inch speakers in the trunk, and he blasted the music all the way to the school. And I remember like during the whole first period, like there was this ringing in my ear that I had to like put up with. So I only rode with him a couple times though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
even
think-
like being a drummer myself, and I still drum to this day. I will put like my computer headphones, like literally the ones I'm wearing right now, because they're like noise canceling, because they fully wrap around my whole ear, and they're actually comfortable. But like back then, I would just no nothing. But now I'm wearing all the protection for my ears I can get.
Yeah.
Especially, and I think the movie did this on purpose, especially hitting those cymbals. I think the cymbals are, obviously the loudest, decibels. And I think the movie did a really good job because the song that they were playing, he was just hitting the cymbals over and over again. So I think, I think that's a hidden message in there in the movie. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just thinking it too much, but I think it was a really good job because the cymbals are the loudest, and he's just keeping hitting them over and over and over again.
Yeah,
What did everyone think of the music itself that they were playing in the beginning?
it was interesting.
Yeah, it
I
was
didn't care for it too much,
Interesting.
but-
I'm glad they went away from the music part.
yes, me too.
I mean, it's very much like the indie underground scene. I've listened to a few bands with the female lead singers, and I mean, this one kind of sounds similar to those, where it's just someone kind of screaming into the mic. And even though I mostly like that kind of stuff, couldn't really get into this. We didn't have a good discography or anything of their soundtrack. We just heard one song from them, but I mean, it's also a weird like it's definitely underground because it's only a drummer and singer with guitar. Just a kind of a weird combination there.
Yeah.
Guess they're famous and they're touring, so
I don't know if they were famous, but they did like a
Yeah,
they had an underground
they had a bit of a,
circuit.
yeah, so they had a following, a
They had
small
some
one,
fans,
but,
yeah.
yeah.
I do like the name of the band though. What was it?
Dark Garment
Blackgammon?
or
Black,
something, yeah,
Blackgammon.
Backgammon, yeah. Something like
More
that.
importantly, though, I think that Reese Ahmed did a good job of because I'm pretty sure. I mean, he was actually playing what they had there, and he did. I mean, a lot of movies will just kind of like fake it.
Yeah.
They'll have like the they'll like be pretend drumming or pretend strumming on the guitar, but seems like they did a really good job of making it look authentic if he wasn't actually playing, but it did look like he was actually playing, so I'm thinking that it was 100% authentic.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
I always hate those scenes in movies where it's like someone's playing a violin or a guitar or drums,
Yeah.
and they're just like not doing anything correct.
Yeah. It's
I
very
do appreciate the level of detail that they put into this movie in terms of like the music itself and like the authenticity of the deaf community and just trying to be accurate in every way possible. You can tell that they put a lot of thought into everything.
All the way down to the tattoos. Those were all fake. I liked he had like just a pair of underwear on his like left shoulder or something like that.
I like the tattoo he designed for that deaf lady.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Bunk.
Did you just horny bonk me?
Yes.
Fair.
I'm surprised we haven't touched this yet, but the acting. What do you guys think about the acting?
I thought that was good.
Really good.
Riz did win an Oscar, right, for this? Or did he not? Was he runner-up?
I believe yes. I believe he got the Oscar.
I can do some research real quick.
I'm pretty sure it only got one, and I'm almost certain it was.
Was it in for Best Picture? It might have. I don't know.
It was up for Best Picture, but it didn't win that. Best Picture goes to like the most generic, basic movie of the year. So although Parasite won and Shape of Water won, so I guess it's not always the most generic one. But when a movie like Green Book wins, I mean, bleh.
Or La La Land.
No, it wasn't. It was Moonlighter.
Oh, that's right.
That was the
They
meme.
thought
La
it
La
was
Land.
La La
Yeah.
Land. That's right.
Everyone goes on stage and the guy's like, "No, it's Cats from 2018." No.
That's right.
Got Best Film Editing, Best Sound, Best Picture, Best Actor.
Nominated
Best
though, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
it
just looks like just nominees.
Didn't win anything, I don't think.
I thought I won something. Because I remember even last time I was saying like, it's an Oscar winner, perfect for.
Sound of Metal,
Oscar
Well, he
Oscar
won.
Best Sound.
He won Indie Awards, a bunch of Indie Awards,
Best
like
Sound.
film festivals and
Best
stuff like that.
Sound of Metal wins. Oh my god. Best sound. What?
One Best Sound.
It better one of Best Sound.
Whatever. This is off. This is too far off. I remember winning something. Okay, at least I won something.
But yeah, good acting all around.
Yeah, I think Reese did a phenomenal job. The old man, I forget his name. What was his name? Joe, I think.
Joe.
He was also really good too. And I think pretty much everyone in the movie did a really good job. Even like the kids who were deaf, I think they all they just kind of acted natural, and that's really all that you need.
Yeah.
And they had.
I'm pretty sure all the. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure like all the deaf actors, were actually deaf.
Yeah.
So they went all the way authentic.
Yeah. I think Reese was the only one who wasn't deaf. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how
He fooled me.
I like that. There's that dinner scene when he first gets there, or not when he first gets there, but when he like officially moves in.
Yeah.
And I like how, because it is kind of awkward how it's like everyone's speaking this language that he doesn't understand, so he just kind of has to sit there and be like, what? I thought that was a good part of the movie because it kind of like because we're in that same boat too, like we're not.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you understand sign language, you're kind of like, what's going on? What is this?
Yeah. Well, and then like they do a good job of showing the isolation he's feeling. Like that would be so hard. That's the one thing that kind of bugged me too. Is they're like, no, your girlfriend has to leave. It's like, I'm sorry, wouldn't you want her to be able to communicate to him at all?
Yeah, that was a weird thing to me too. Like at least let her stay in contact with him because obviously,
yeah.
I mean,
I feel like that was just an emotional grab kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like that's just part of the whole drug angle to where he is recovering and he needs to, I guess, separate from the world in order to do that.
Which that I get, but at the same time, like, he, you know, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, he has this other life, and obviously that's mainly what he's trying to get back to. And he really needs to combine the two. And helping him to combine the two would be involving her, teaching her sign language so they can communicate.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's what I thought. And like I said, maybe it was just this guy's rules, and he's used to running an addicts, whatever group, and so he's gonna run it like that. But
Yeah, I mean that is a good point. I mean, she needs to learn sign language too if she wants to stay in a relationship. I mean, I don't know if you need to learn sign language to stay in a relationship, but it would help a lot.
well, yeah, then she doesn't have to write everything down.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, she can understand him, he can't understand her.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, what I picked up from the movie is like she just wanted out of it because she couldn't handle what he was going through or something.
No, what I got out of it was she really wanted him to be able to recover, and you'll be able to deal with this problem. And she kind of, I mean, it looks like she kind of wanted out of the touring life because she was always scratching her arm and was nervous. And the second she stopped touring, she got better. And then the second he starts mentioning touring again, she starts scratching again.
Yeah, that nervous tick.
Yeah. So like, I feel like she definitely cared about him and wanted what was best for him. But this did seem like a way out for her from touring. But I don't know, maybe that was just what I read into it.
That's what I got out of it too.
Okay, good. Not just me.
Did anyone else find it like kind of too sudden how he just went from not knowing sign language to like being really good at communicating using sign language? Like I understand a lot of time passed, but for me, like the transition from one to the other just kind of seemed very sudden.
I mean,
Like we didn't get anything progressive.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little sudden, but I'm fine with that just because, I mean, it was a long movie anyways, and if they take so much time to show his growth and sign language and stuff, we would have been there forever.
Yeah, I think they showed enough of like subtle, him learning and doing various things. I guess they didn't show it from. I mean, they showed the ground level and then they showed like the second floor or something like that. Like they missed a step in there when he kind of went straight to understanding a lot more, and that does just help with the flow of the movie, so they don't have to stick on that stuff for too long. And I think I don't mind it not being fully.
I mean, the way like he was communicating with everyone else, to me, it just seemed like it just went from the first level to the fifth level. Like it seemed like a big jump. But that's just me. It's just a nitpick. I know I don't really have too much of a problem with it.
One thing I do wish they had shown earlier on is because they really didn't show him in the room after his initial like freak out where he smashed the donut, and then they kind of skipped to when he was thinking about leaving and they showed it more. And I feel like that room is like a real good, I don't know, I always I like the scenes when he was in the room, just kind of being there alone and writing and stuff like that. I feel like they need a little bit more of that when he was like still kind of angry about the whole situation. I would have liked to see more of that emotion.
Yeah,
and he never we never saw him actually standing still, right? Which is what he was supposed to do.
Yeah,
he was like always doing something.
You saw for a brief second, like he looked out the window one morning and just kind of stared at nature, but it was brief, and then they moved on.
Yeah.
And I like how that's how they ended the movie too, with him just sitting just still. It's like a callback to that room.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
It kind of goes along with what we're talking about, but do you guys feel like this movie runtime felt forever? And I don't know, like if it was because of the silence and then like some noise, but I don't know. I just felt like it was a really long, like a longer movie. It was only 2 hours, which is not bad, but it felt a lot longer. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I understand what you're saying. I don't think it felt forever, but it did it was like a slow burner. You know, it wasn't like it wasn't. I guess I would say action. You know, all the time. There was a lot of slow parts in there, but yeah, I agree. It was a little slow. I wouldn't say it was a forever type slow though.
It was definitely a deliberate pace
Yeah.
because of the type of the movie.
Yeah, I didn't like. I definitely. I think it was right around the 2 hour mark. I was like, I've been watching this for 2 hours. Like, I didn't realize I was watching it for 2 hours, so I looked like stopped to get a drink and looked at the time, and I was like, what? How much longer is this? And then like I sat back down, and it was the scene where he takes off the implants. I was like, and then it just ended. I was like, oh, okay.
So, Tay didn't watch the whole movie? Oh my
I did
God.
watch the whole movie. I said I paused it to get some
Oh.
water.
I thought you said you didn't pause it.
No, I paused it. Watched the whole movie. I promise. It was a good movie.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, like I said, it's a bit of a slow burner. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. I like that.
a lot of conversation and talking in there, in between the really nice scenes. Like the one that sticks out to me is when he's on the slide and he's like tapping out the the drum beats with the kid on the slide. I really thought that was a great scene.
It was, and that's the scene where he kind of realized, okay, maybe this isn't gonna be too bad. I can drum still, you know.
Yeah, I would have actually. Now that you said that, I would actually like to see more side of him, like trying to get back into drumming, or if he just completely gave up on it. But like maybe attend a few concerts here or there, try to get back into drumming.
I think that would have been a good, like, I think that sort of thing that you're talking about would have been good towards the beginning of the movie when he's just starting to learn like sign language and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Him trying to like keep drumming and stuff, but with how the plot goes and he goes to that house, you kind of don't get that because of the rules there.
Yeah, I mean, you do get that one scene where he goes back to the trailer and drums.
But that was like a last hurrah, right? Because he sold all his equipment.
Yes, yeah.
And I mean, like he said at the beginning, like he could be like his, the metronome, and she could follow him. I don't see that working, especially, yeah. I mean, even when he did his last performance, you could tell he was a little bit off, even though you couldn't really hear it, but you could see it when she turned around and was kind of looking weird at him, and he just kind of stormed out at the end of the song. But back to your point, I would have liked to have seen him try and do that a little bit more, and just him failing over and over again. So it makes more sense that, you don't see it later on.
Well, even when they get back together, he does his week. He's talking about going back on tour. It shows that he hasn't tried it, but he thinks it's still going to work.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I think we as an audience knows like that's not going to work. Even with the implants in his ears, because when there's too much noise going on, it's just a static.
Yeah, it just gets more and more distorted the louder things are.
Yeah,
for sure.
Even like when she was singing and the piano was being played, like in the louder parts, they got even more distorted where you could barely understand what was going on.
Yeah, those were really powerful scenes too. I that goes back to the sound design and just how like they made that all sound so distorted. Like they go back and forth between the beautiful singing and the weird distorted ear implant things.
Yeah. Did anyone else watch it with subtitles?
Yep.
No,
okay.
not
I
me.
did.
I figured you did, Callis. We're the old folks.
We're the old men.
Yeah. But like, what's cool about like the subtitles, it would tell you like, oh, it's distorted. Next scene, it'd say undistorted sound. So you would know. And I thought that was kind of cool.
And also, like in the scenes when they were doing the sign language, like in the beginning when he didn't know, they did not show subtitles at all for what they were saying until he learned what they were saying. Then it showed subtitles for what everyone was saying.
Yeah, that happened on the normal version of the movie too. They showed subtitles for like the sign language stuff later on.
Yeah.
Greedy, did you almost watch The Sound of Music?
No, I didn't.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
For those who don't understand, Callus was streaming. I was like, "Did you watch Sound of Music yet?" And I meant to say metal.
I thought it was just a callback to when you watched the wrong Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
Also that, yep.
You'll never live that one down.
That's his thing now. I'm the CGI guy. Greedy Waffle is the guy who sometimes watches the wrong movie.
Any other scene that we haven't mentioned?
I think a lot of the scenes kind of fall under that same, like, because like you could talk about the scene when he's first goes to the doctor and he does the hearing test and he can't really do it. Yeah, that's another powerful. Like, there's so many of these scenes that are like they're powerful scenes, but they all kind of go under that same umbrella of it's this like concept of him not hearing it correctly or something not happening correctly because he can't hear. And there's a lot of really powerful scenes in there that you could point to. But in general, all those scenes I could say the same thing about because they're all really good and powerful scenes.
Yeah.
Would you say those scenes are visceral?
The only real visceral scene that I was thinking of was when he was in the trailer and he was just his girlfriend was woken up from him screaming and just wrecking the place because he was so frustrated, and that was a visceral scene if there was any.
Yeah.
So yeah, Callus.
Good to know.
There was a visceral scene. I agree.
But like I said, that kind of falls under the same thing as like very powerful scene, really well performed and acted scene. Is there anything new I can add to the conversation? No, because we've kind of already said, the
Right.
main bullet points there.
Yeah. Did anyone else think that after he was finished all the therapy or whatever to learn sign language and stuff, that the girlfriend Lou was going to have moved on?
I did think so, yeah, at
Oh
one
yeah,
point.
for sure. I thought that was going to happen.
Right?
And it almost seemed like it happened too.
I think he thought it had, and then that was why he's like, no, it's okay, and that she was like, no, I love you too, you're my everything. Like, I think that was finally like, oh, okay, she does care, she wants to be here with him.
And I guess that kind of leads me to my question of why did he leave?
So I figured that was just like he just needed to get out of the house and think. Like, I didn't think he was leaving for good.
Well, he brought his bag with him.
Did he?
Yeah, I was wondering. I was thinking he was like contemplating living with this static hearing is awful. I wish that I hadn't done this kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And he was kind of like I think he was because he was saying how he wanted to go back and tour and stuff like that, and maybe he realized through that conversation he didn't want to give her hope that they were going to go back on tour and stuff. Or
well, like I said, I felt like he saw the signs of that. She started scratching herself. It's like, okay, she does not want to go back on tour.
Well, then it also could have been like he doesn't like his hearing might be affecting that too. Like she's nervous about him not being able to hear correctly, and obviously he said that he was okay to her, but she obviously knew that something wasn't right. So
I think it has more. Yeah, it has more to do with the fact that when she first walked in through the door and they saw each other after such a long time, he saw the change in her and how she looked so much more healthy. No scratches or anything, and I guess he figured that she would be happier without him. Maybe.
Who knows?
Like I said, I mean, that's the point of an ambiguous ending, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like he was leaving probably for good. Maybe, but I wish there had been a little bit more context to as why he left, because he stayed there the entire night and then he just left early in the morning before she got up.
Yeah, which is why I think he didn't leave for good. He just always wakes up early, and that's his time to go. That was his time to go right. And as the one guy, John, or whatever we decided his name was, Joe.
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 Was find the stillness And so I feel like that's why he just went out to go find the stillness.
Yeah, but that wouldn't explain why he brought his bag with him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't notice his bag that he
I
brought his
didn't
bag
know.
on.
Yeah, I didn't know if he brought
That's
the bag
interesting.
either.
Yeah, he did.
Hmm.
So,
Well,
but, I
way to
mean,
ruin it for me, Yemmy. I
Well,
just wanted a happy ending, okay?
well, I don't.
Yep.
I don't. Either way, I don't think he really got a happy ending. You know, even if he had
Yeah.
stayed, I mean, he still has to live with this decision that he made to try and fix his hearing in a way that wasn't exactly happy or accepted by the deaf community. So
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
at the end, did he, like, based off what we saw, do you think he's choosing complete silence life, or is he just,
Oh yeah.
yeah, you think so?
Like, I
Instead
mean,
of-
I don't know. I think he'll probably mostly be silent, but he will use the implants like in small groups, where you can actually hear. But I don't know. Again, it's
Got a
an
lot of money for it.
ambiguous.
yeah, he
Yeah.
spent enough money. He probably is gonna keep this. Probably use him for one-on-one conversations. But I mean, as we heard, when more than one person is talking, it's hard enough to understand one person, but multiple people, noises, yeah, not good.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that he's gonna live mostly silent, and that's why I said earlier, like he could kind of hear a little bit before they did that operation. He could. It was muffled, obviously, but
But not enough to talk to people.
no, but I mean, it was still something. But that pure silence at the end, like the silence is louder than anything they could have put at the end there.
That's true.
And that's a metaphor. No, it's not. No, yeah, that goes back to what we were saying at the beginning. Like that silence at the end is a great way to end a movie, and the silence in the room is much better and louder than any song that they could have put there.
Yeah. Agreed.
So you're saying they shouldn't have put like the movie out with some Metallica?
That would have shut it
That
down
was
to
that was a
one.
joke.
Yeah. Boom, bing, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that would have been
Accurate.
like a 1 out of 10 ending there.
They should have ended with a painkiller. That drum solo in the beginning.
Well, at least Judas Priest is a good band. Oh,
Oh.
Shots fired. At something. I don't know what, but they were fired.
all right. Well, it sounds like we've kind of exhausted the conversation here.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and start with our review and rating, unless someone else has something they want to add.
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
All right, so I'll go first since I was the person who suggested the movie. In total, Sound of Metal, it's a slow burn, so you got to kind of be in it for the long haul. But there's a lot of really great scenes and powerful scenes in there. I know, kind of repeating the same word, but that's the only way I can really describe it. Is like there's a lot of scenes in there that hit hard, and I went into it with, I wouldn't say expectations, but I was expecting maybe a different movie, and I'm still happy with the end product. Don't get me wrong, but that expectation I had going in was kind of, it was a little like when I started off, it was a little bit off, but I got adjusted to the way the movie was going pretty quickly. I enjoyed it. Like I said, just a little bit slow. So in the end, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, cool. All right, I'll go next. I do agree with Yummy, and a slow burn is a good term for it. I do like that term. It was a little slow at points, and there were some scenes that kind of bogged it down, and that's okay. I mean, like Yummy said, you pick up on which route this movie was going, and I thought it was going to be more metal music kind of route, as I said in the beginning. I do want to point out that it did seem like it was not stated well enough where if he could hear and not hear in the beginning. And there were some scenes that kind of was like, how is he hearing this? And then I'll see like, oh, there's a monitor right there. The doctor, is reading, his voice lines are coming up as like subtitles pretty much. But overall, it's a powerful movie, powerful message. As a drummer myself, it really makes me think. It's like, oh yeah, being younger, I probably should have, take care of my ears more. And we touch based on that throughout the podcast. Overall, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
Well, for me, I definitely, again, like you guys, kind of went in there expecting something different. And the first few minutes, especially, I was just like, I don't even know if I'm going to like this. It just seemed like, the first few minutes, it just seems like it's going a different direction. But then it quickly starts going in, the direction it did go. And, like you said, Grady, it is quick to pick up and going, oh, okay, this is where they're going with this. And I did enjoy it a lot. I thought that it was a good, powerful message and taught people about the deaf community a little bit and whatnot. And overall, I will give it a 4 out of 5 as well.
Well, the one thing I forgot to mention is the fact that, like, around the 1 hour mark, I kind of pretty much predicted what the whole rest of the movie was going to be. With him, actually learning to be accepted by the deaf community and, learning the sign language and all that. And then him trying to go back to his old life and kind of not working out. I kind of saw all that coming. I don't know what that says about the movie, but, overall, I did enjoy the movie itself. The acting was terrific. The story was really good and well done. So overall, I would have to also give it a 4 out of 5.
Alrighty.
Same ballpark. Cool.
Okay. Well.
All right. So I'm my turn to pick, and I'm actually, funny enough, gonna continue in the same genre of music.
Oh.
There's a
Sound
movie
of music.
There's a movie that actually came out a few years ago, 2018, that I've never seen, and I always wanted to see it, and for some reason I just never brought myself to see it. But this movie is Bohemian Rhapsody, and everyone should probably know the name of it by Queen, the band. The story of the legend British rock band Queen and lead singer Freddie Mercury leading up to their famous performance at Live Aid in 1985. It's directed by Bryan Singer. Writers are Anthony McCartan, Peter Morgan, and stars Rami Malek, Lucy Byington, Gwen Lee, and a couple others. And this one has won 4 Oscars. So we'll talk about that when we talk about the movie.
It's Rami Malek, by the way, for the...
Rami Malek, okay.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, perfect movie for Oscar season. 4 Oscar wins. Whether they were deserved or not, we'll talk about the next episode.
Won 4 Oscars, 48 wins, and 80 nominations total. So we'll see. Yeah, it was very hyped up when it came out. Everyone said it was a wonderful movie, and I never brought myself to watch it. So I don't know.
I never saw it either.
Yep. Either did
But
I.
is this like a trend that's gonna happen now, where like we kind of all pick Lord of the Rings movies, and now we're all picking music-based movies?
We'll see what Tay picks next, and that'll confirm or deny that.
Yeah.
Ajay had this one and another music movie in mind, so either one. And I had this picked out before Yemmy even said his music, and when he picked his movie, I even said, "Hey." So,
well, yeah. That's why I guess Whiplash, because it's like drummer movie, But Bohemian Rhapsody. I haven't seen it myself, so this will be a good. I have seen some critiques of it or movie reviews, so
yeah, me too. But
I'm gonna try and not let those sway me while I'm watching it. So, all right. If you don't want to be spoiled, or if you want to join the conversation for Bohemian Rhapsody from 2018. Make sure you watch that before the next episode, which airs in 2 weeks. You can find this movie on Amazon, iTunes, Google, Vudu, if you so desire.
And it says it's free on ABC if you have cable.
No one does.
Well, you kind of have to catch it at the right time, though, right?
Yeah.
It's on at 8 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. But anyway, if you want to join in on that conversation, make sure you tune in 2 weeks when that episode airs. And of course, if you Yes, you want to recommend a movie. Make sure you either send us an email, comment on the latest episode of Film Freaks with a Z, or talk in my Discord. We need more recommendations. That's right. How many times can we cross our fingers and hope that Transformers doesn't win? Okay? We need more. But yeah, hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Do you guys have anything you want to mention before we end the show?
Go Browns.
Don't forget
Nothing-
to wipe your ass. Or clean your ass.
Yeah, clean your ass.
Yeah. Well, both actually. Do both.
Sure. Can't have one
Alright.
without the other.
Well, I am Yemmy the Ferret, and I've been here with...
Grady Waffles.
Animation.
And the sound of Callus.
And we are Film Freaks with a Z. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.